If you're new to Sword of Convallaria or new to strategy role-playing games altogether, I want to take a few minutes to give you some basics on the battlefield and really prime you to eventually tackle the hardest challenges this game has to offer. A lot of people can be put off by this grid-based system, especially when you have to start understanding complexities of movement, range, height, all those sorts of different things, not to mention advantages and disadvantages that characters have inherently against other kinds of characters. So let me take a few minutes to walk you through the different systems so that you can step into the world as comfortable as can be and ready to tackle those hard challenges. Now for this video, I'm going to turn my face off so that you can see the gameplay. So as much as I know you might love looking at this, let me go ahead and turn that off for just a few minutes. So here I've entered a battle, and before I even place a unit down, I want you to notice a few different things. So first off, on this upper hand corner here, it shows you this kind of common weakness advantage system. Now this does get covered in the tutorial, but I want to cover it here as well. And what you're going to notice is a few things. First, you have this triangle. You have the blue seeker, the red breaker, and the green defender. And what these arrows represent is that seekers are strong and have an advantage against breakers. Breakers have advantages against defenders, and defenders against seekers. And so if I look around into this map, I've got a breaker right here. So I now know that if I put someone as a defender near them, I'm going to be at a disadvantage. In a similar way, if I have a blue unit, so for example over here I've got this Crimson Falcon individual, I can put them somewhere to attack this red breaker and I'll have the advantage. So understanding right off the bat what is on the field, who's strong against what, is going to give you a little bit of an advantage. On the other side, you'll notice that Watchers are strong against Destroyers, but nothing has an advantage over a Watcher. That's important. That means that I don't have to worry about a specific color or specific type of character coming in and being strong against a Watcher that I put down. And the Destroyers have no inherent advantage over another character. So this little information here seems small, seems trivial, but it's actually quite important in understanding your best advantages on the characters that you place. The next thing I want to talk about is just a brief bit about the terrain. If I look at this map here, I'm going to notice only a few spots that I can knock people off. And this is a cool tactic that you have in Sword of Convallaria. I'll show you a little video of it here. But effectively, if the character is able to be pushed back, you can push them back into water or off of a cliff into the void, and they die instantly. Now your bosses and such may not have this ability to be pushed off of a cliff, but for any other enemy that does, it's a great way to take out a high hit point enemy right off the field, right off the bat. When you have it on a terrain like this, what's nice is if you were to knock someone off of this into the ground, the further they fall, the more damage they take. So it may not outright kill them, but you can get some extra damage just by knocking them off of a height advantage that you have against them. Something that you're going to want to get used to on hard maps, and in the easy maps in the beginning you probably don't have to worry about this, to be completely honest with you, but you want to understand movement. Movement in this form of game is probably one of the most important things. Movement allows you to get to your enemies, allows you to position your units for AoEs or just for that strategic advantage, and your enemies have that same capability, right? Each of them can go so far. So if I look at this map here, let's pick this individual. If I click on him before I even start the map, I can see some stats, right? So I now know that this person has 3 movement, which means they can go 1, 2, 3 blocks anytime they want to walk somewhere. Additionally, they have a height of 2, which means that they can go up to 2 blocks, right? So this individual can get up here pretty easily, right? If I were to position someone right there, they're going to get right in their face. This is also an archer unit, and when you look at their different attacks, oops, sorry, that's their trait, you can see the range. So when I click on them, I can see that they can, from this tile here, shoot across into these red zones that you're seeing on this little grid here. It's a straight shot, which means that if there's something in the way, it's going to get blocked, whereas a curved shot can go over something. So if there's, say, a barrel in front of them, they can shoot over the barrel or over another character to get to you. So do keep in mind if it's a straight shot or a curved shot. And I can look at their skills if I want to. Now, I'm not going to cover every skill on this map for every enemy. I just want you to know that you can come in here and from the get-go, understand the types of characters you're fighting against. This will be more important when you're fighting bosses, when you start understanding what kind of abilities they have, and what you want to get close to and not get close to. Another thing that's important is your turn order. So right now, if I click this 1-2 over on the side, I don't have anyone placed. You can see that you have the guy over here on the right is going to go first, archer over here is second, archer over here is third. As I start placing units, you'll see the turn order change, and that's because of speed. So the higher your speed is, the faster you go or the earlier you go in the turn order. And just for the sake of it, I'm going to pull out my tank. So we bring this character out, and now you're going to see that she is going to go first. And why is that? Well, that's because her speed is a 243. It's the highest on the board right now. Oh, actually, you can also see too, her move is only 3. Now that I know what's on the field, I want to start thinking about what's going to be the best units for me to place. I'm going to choose my tank. I enjoy having them. She is green, so I know that this breaker here is actually going to have an advantage against her. And I'm going to go ahead and pull a healer. So I'm going to bring her a little bit more towards the back. I like Wandering Trickshy, and I'm going to show you why here in a second. Because he's red, I'm going to go over here and pull my Seeker. My Seeker is going to have an advantage. And given distance, I may need them closer. And then finally, I'm going to pick an Archer. I'm going to pick Fake Hall. We're all going to get Fake Hall in the game if you complete a certain event that they're kicking off with. So it'd be nice to show them. Now, what I see here is my turn orders again. So now I know my tank's going to go first. I can position her, and then this individual is going to come. So I do want to know, yes, they can go 3. They're not going to be able to get all the way around the corner just yet, so that's a good thing, right? But now that I've picked my units, the last thing to think about, and you'll get more of this as you go along the game, are tactics. Tactics are additional, I guess, abilities you can spend points on throughout the match. So you'll see this noted here. And they do different things. So this one that I have unlocked at the moment teleports one of my characters, the target that I pick, to any location within 4 tiles of myself and gains 25% HP. What I can do with something like that is if I've overextended, say, my tank, I can pull them back, get a little bit of health, things like that. I also have this temporary everyone step back, and it knocks back the first enemy within 2 tiles by 5 tiles. So again, if they've pushed too close, I need to get them away. I can use that to knock them back. So let's start this battle, and I'm going to show you something else. And this is what I was teasing in the thumbnail. This is what you need to master. First and foremost, I am currently on Mytha, and the blue is where she can walk to. So I can position her here, here, whatever I want. And the red is where she can attack. So right now, no matter where I go, I don't have a move that she can attack with. What's really important though, and what's not immediately obvious, is on this exclamation point, I can turn this on. And now you're going to notice this purple color and these red lines. This can get overlooked in strategy games frequently, but it matters. This red line currently means that this individual can hit her. He is within range of her, and if I move here, you'll see now both of them can. So what I have to be cautious of is putting a character that can't take the hits directly in the line of fire of multiple people. Okay? You don't want to overextend. That is a common mistake I think a lot of people make in strategy role-playing games. It's sometimes even worth, and I don't think it is for this particular map, to move yourself back and let characters come towards you while you do things like buff up, right? It really depends on your team composition, and I can't give you a perfect answer on what to do every time because it really does matter what units you have, what units you're fighting, you know, all those sorts of things. But you don't have to rush in. And oftentimes rushing in and overextending just means you can't reach buffs, you can't reach heals, you're going to have a lot of people possibly, you know, targeting the same person, and it may not give you the strategic benefit that you need. So let me put her here. I actually do like the fact that she's kind of out of the way. And because she can't do anything specific, I'm just going to put her on standby. And I want to start drawing people in. So you'll see he was number 2 on the turn order. Next up I have, he's hidden behind me, I couldn't see him. So he could, in theory, come down here. And so if I were to attack, I'm only going to take about half-ish, maybe a little bit more if I use the other power. And then I'm going to be in range of 2, and the other problem I have here is these two can now separate away from the main party, which means that he's being chased potentially, and I don't have people that can get to him. So I don't want to do that just yet. So I'm going to actually leave him up here for a second. I could put him here where he can reach the breaker, but again, now you see all 3 of these guys can hit him. Now in this turn, the breaker's already gone. I don't have to worry about that. But the 2 archers have not, and they might actually be able to take him down with a couple hits. So I need to be careful on that. All right, so I'm going to move him out of the way just to kind of be in buff range here in a second. But I am a little bit worried about this person kind of walking up and hitting him as well. So I do want to pull him back just a little bit. So again, I'm just going to hit standby. And a lot of this is for demonstration. Actually, probably would be slightly more aggressive normally. Here we have a great ability for movement. So what's nice about this character is I can, in an AoE, increase move and then decrease move and have immunity to reduction in move. This extra movement is absolutely crucial in a lot of teams. And so what I want to do is do something to keep her safe while still being able to use that power. Again, I still think she could probably take a hit. Well, actually she would be disadvantaged against this watcher, so I do need to be careful. So this person, let's double check, they have 3 move and they have a line range of 4, or you kind of skip a space and go 2 out. So if they move 3, they could go 1, 2, 3, and then they wouldn't hit the line 1, 2, 3. I don't know how much, so 4. They may be able to hit her, and so I might actually want to pull her back. And so if I move, oops, I can't quite get back far enough. So this might be the best spot to only take 1 hit if this person comes in. But I'm going to take this. I don't know if I can quite get Fakel and my tank. I'd rather have my tank because Fakel is a range. And so I'm going to increase my move here. And so these 4 characters now can move 2 more blocks. So with Fakel, I can either put myself in danger or try to stay away from it. And on this particular move, I can't quite reach down. And if I look at my leg sniping, it's a straight shot, which means that I'm not going to be able to curve it over to hit this individual because it would be stopped by this block right here. And so really, I think what I'll do is just keep him somewhat back, and I'm going to use this little buff move that he has. And so what you've noticed is I haven't done a single hit on these guys. All right, so you saw that they all moved up, no one could hit me, so I'm still, really safe. My healer, is now in range of an attack, but I also have the next turn to, thin out these enemies a bit. And what I like about this character is they have a regen, so I'm just going to put that on, and by selecting this block, I actually get everybody. And so this will help, if I take damage to regen it back up. Now I want to get down here. We have the extra move, so I can get much farther. And what I can do is just see who I can take out. So right off the bat, I can get down and one-shot this person before they ever get a turn. Now I will put myself in range of this breaker, but I should have enough defense as a tank with also potentially getting a chance to block. Although I think breakers might negate block. I have to double check that one. So here we go. Oh no. So you saw me take reduced damage there. My Seeker now can get way down here right into this guy and take a good half of their health off. And there you go. And just for the fun of it, I'm going to show you, a use case of that tactic that I showed you earlier. So let's say that I overextended and an ambush is coming, or there were too many enemies targeting my Seeker here and they're not in a good spot. This is where you can use those tactics, and this one in particular, and I can move this person back. And now you see they got some health, got jumped back quite a few squares, and given that these guys have 3 movement, pretty safe except for from a curve shot. And also did not take up my turn. That's important. So now, because I know I'm getting to a place where I can probably take these people out, I can start looking at really just thinning the ranks. I don't need to be as reserved. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to throw this fire out. You're going to see I take both of them. And now I can bring Fakel up. I think, get it from here. Yeah. And there we go. Now again, this is not a hard map. This was a relatively tame one. Even if it was the, harder difficulty within the story, it's fine. You are going to eventually get to harder maps, and maps where you really do have to think about positioning, really think about overextending versus drawing in. And sometimes overextending is okay. If you have a character, for example, Cole on the upcoming banners, who can take out an enemy and then get another turn, sometimes you can take out a couple priority targets by going through that extension. You just got to make sure that you have not put yourself in a space to then just get ganged up on and defeated on your own. Don't be afraid sometimes, just make sure you understand the surroundings and what you're getting yourself into when you're off, on your own. So let me jump into a different map just so I can show you the barrels. They get covered in tutorial, but just for the fun of it, I want to show you what it looks like. Okay, so this map is early story. So if you don't want to see anything, then, turn away, turn it off, whatever you want. I have skipped the dialogue. I won't show you any of that kind of stuff. There's 3 things I want to show you on this map. First are these red arrows. Again, this gets covered right away, but these are ambushes to come in the next round. So something you have to think about is, okay, if I pull everyone forward, what does that do for me? Or if I leave them behind, are they in danger? We have burning tiles. Burning tiles do percent-based damage each round, so they can be very strategically advantageous if you are fighting someone with high health, for example, or high defenses. And of course, my friend, the exploding barrel. An exploding barrel does damage in a circle around it, so it's 1 block, just a little square around it. And I want to show you something cool. You can knock people into it. So right here I've got Mytha, and she has this move which will knock him, and check out what happens. Bam, 1 move, hit the barrel, 2 people gone. I can't be mad about that. Let me skip ahead just a little bit, and I'll let this other spawn come in. I'm going to show you another way to utilize these. Okay, here we go. So ambushes come in. You're going to notice I have 2 barrels here. And so I can target one of these, and then check this out. You get a chain reaction. So not only did it blow up the 2 people that spawned in, and granted, I'm sure they set up this map that way. So you can chain these barrels and things together when you see them for just more destruction. So keep an eye out on terrain advantages like that. Also make sure you're out of the way. Unless you're intentionally sacrificing a unit, you too will be blown up. So do bear that in mind, hence why I used the ranger to get through that one. Okay, I couldn't find a stage with a boulder. I wanted to show you that more live, but I'll show a clip here in the corner. But boulders work very similarly in the sense that as they hit things, they destroy them. And you can hit multiple things in a row. So you'll see that in the clip. And again, it's another thing to be aware of because it can also hurt you. So make sure that you're positioned to not take, a boulder to the face. If you've got things lined up, or you can position a tank to get things to kind of come up into a line with you, it's a great way to mow down a few different enemies all at the same time. And hey, I'm back. And there you have it. That's some of my advice on how to read the battlefield, things to really look out for. If you liked it, I would love it if you gave me a like and subscribe. It just helps us get out to more people. And let me leave with just the final few thoughts. Really pay attention to your movement and don't overextend when you don't have to. Again, there's times where it makes sense, but not all the time. And when you get into those hard stages, bosses, things of that nature, take the extra moment or 2 just to check their stats, check their abilities. That way you're not rushing an entire team of units into an AoE of destruction that you can't recover from. Game comes out in just a couple of days on the 31st. If you're seeing this after, I hope you still get value out of it. I think the tips are relevant no matter what. And I'll see you here soon in the game.